Good afternoon. My name is Aisha and I use the pen name ADP Sorisi. This is my children's book. I've written two adult books on Tutankhamun. This one is for children because they were very keen and upset that I didn't have one for them when I was promoting the adult books. The first adult book is Tutankhamun, He is Born, and the second book is Tutankhamun, He is Crowned. I am working on the third book at the moment, which has fallen behind because I wanted to get this children's book out, and this was out this summer, and I've had good feedback from the children who have read it. This book was created after speaking with many teachers who explained to me that while children can read nowadays, they seem to be having problems with comprehending, that is, understanding what they're reading. And that includes my sister, who is a teacher in Mahdi in Egypt, which is just outside Cairo. In this book, I have at the back got a preface, a list of historical characters who actually lived at that time, and also a page about the seasons and the Egyptian Middle Kingdom calendar of the seasons and the months of the year. I will just read it from chapter 1 to give you a flavour, and hopefully you will like it enough to get a copy of the book, which is on Amazon and on Kindle. And this one is I am born. It's in the first person. The adult one is in the third person. I was born, so my wet nurse Maya tells me, in the season of Akhet, when the Nile floods enriched the land of Egypt with black sediment collected by the river on its way from the Ethiopian mountains in Africa. It was in the second month named Menhet that when I was born, and within a few days my mother died. I did not realize Maya was not my mother because she could not have taken better care of me. She told me many times I was a beautiful baby. My father is Pharaoh Akhenaten. His throne name is Amenhotep IV. He had moved the capital of Egypt from Memphis to Akhenaten, named after himself. This place, I learnt later, had been desert before my father decided to move there. My father named me Tutankhamun at birth after the god he worshipped called the Aten. On the death of my mother, my father sent me and my wet nurse to my grandparents, the Lady Tia, and my grandfather, Amenhotep III, who lived in retirement in Thebes, the religious capital of Egypt. This meant I only saw my father once a year on my birthday. My first memory is when I was 3 years old. I remember talking with my grandfather, whom I called Giddu. We were sitting together in a lush, colourful garden, and he was telling me about my father changing the religion of the country as soon as Giddu handed over the throne to him. What I remember best is how upset Giddu was about this. He told me he wanted me to change the religion back from the worship of the Aten to the worship of Amun-Ra, Osiris, and the other gods, old gods of Egypt. He called my father a heretic, a non-believer. Giddu explained to me that Amun is the god of Thebes and Ra is the god of Heliopolis, another religious city. When I was 3.5, my Giddu died. I missed our talks very much, and my heart felt very sad. We had to leave the small palace and move to the new capital where my father had a villa built for my grandmother, whom I called Nana, and her household, which included me, of course, and my household. I remember that journey because it was the first time I had left the small palace. It was the dry season and the weather was sweltering, hot and dusty. I remember hanging out of the coach wanting to see what the servants' children were doing. When we finally stopped, I was bursting and needed to relieve myself. Maya took me behind a sand dune while the guards kept watch. The next thing I knew, I was being helped up by a young soldier. A big man was lying on the sand with blood pouring from a wound across his neck. The soldier, seeing me look at the man, said he was dead and no threat to me. "Where is Maya?" I asked. She answered as she brushed sand off her clothes. "I am here. That lout knocked me over in his hurry to get to you. It is good this young soldier was close by and reached us quickly." That's half of chapter 1. And at the end of each chapter, I have a heading, pronunciations, which helps you to learn how to say the unusual words, like sediment, and Amenhotep, as Amenhotep, and Giddu, and Heliopolis, and Nacht. It has a silent H. And it gives you meanings of words you may not know that's been used in the chapter. Sediment is silt or sludge that settles in the water. And villa is a large house in its own grounds. And wet nurse is a woman employed to suckle or to breastfeed another woman's child and to take care of that child. And lush means very green. And lout is a rough, violent, angry man. So I think that helps you to understand the story without having to dash off and find a dictionary and then have to find the word in the dictionary, because I was terrible when I was little. I wouldn't go and look the word up. It wasn't until I was much older that I did that. So I've taken care of that for you by putting that here. All right, well, once again, there's the book and there's the back, and it contains all kinds of interesting things that Tut got up to when he was a child. It deals with his first 6 years. And this is me, Aisha, Sorisi, signing off.